Today could quite possibly be as big as it gets. Just 3 points separate the bottom 4 teams in the championship. And with 9 games remaining, every one of those sides has a chance of survival. 2 of them, Argyle and Derby, meet at Home Park this afternoon, both having won in midweek, both having changed their managers in the winter, and both knowing a win today would be a huge boost to their survival hopes. Once again, we have another massive game in store, and all the action is coming your way here on Argyle TV. Hello, good afternoon. I am Erin Black, and welcome to Matchday Live here at Home Park for another exciting game of football. It's a big game this afternoon. They're all big, of course, at this time of the season, but this, I think, more so than ever. That midweek win over Portsmouth has just given everyone, I think, a little bit of hope again. And today, against a fellow relegation struggler, there is a real chance that Argyle could head into the final international break of the season on a high. We certainly hope so. I think that would be a nice rest for everyone. Match passes, both audio and video, are available today over on our website. You want to head over to pafc.co.uk for all of the details. So while you're getting all of that sorted, I'm pleased to say that I'm going to be joined on Matchday Live this afternoon by former Argyle winner David Byrne. Come on in, David. Nice to see you.
Hi, Erin. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us for Matchday Live. I think this is we've had you as a guest on, in other ways before.
The morning show, yeah.
I think this is the first for us, Matchday Live.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to it as well.
Yes, me too. I mean, lots to discuss because it's a huge game today, isn't it?
It is. I said it last Saturday when I was doing comms on radio that I thought that was a defining game, but this is even bigger, the fact that we lost that, but then come back with a result. And it would be great to get a back-to-back.
Confidence, I think, going into today, probably feeling a little bit higher, having managed to achieve what we did against Portsmouth. It wasn't the best of games in terms of Argyle's performance, but they did get the result.
Absolutely, they dragged the result out of a game that was sort of very, very even. But I think today will be a lot different. I think for me today, it's about who can defend their goal the best.
Yeah.
I think we've proved that if we play and give the strikers something to run onto rather than trying to play into their feet, give them something to run in behind with. You see what happened, in midweek. We scored one from, running the left channel, one from on the right channel. And we both play the same system. So it's all about who can play the system the best and obviously hold their nerve, because it's going to be there's going to be some anxiety amongst the players from the start.
And there always seems to be a little bit more anxiety when Argyle are taking on those clubs that are in and around them in the table. We've seen Argyle do great things against kind of giant opposition. We've seen them do it in the FA Cup. We've seen them do it against people that are at the top of the table. But when it comes to those clubs that are down and around them, the difference makers, sometimes there seems to be a bit of stuttering.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, if you knew the answer to that, you'd be quite a wealthy... everyone would be looking for you as a manager. But
yeah.
I'm a big believer that, when you come up against the top teams in the division, you don't need a real good team talk, because if you don't go and perform, you will get... you'll get everything handed to you that you deserve. Against the bottom teams, I think it's a little different, but it's just the mindset, it's just the mentality. You've got to go out and try and perform week in, week out, regardless of who the opponents are. And I've just got a sneaky feeling today that we're going to I just hope that we can just go and apply the pressure like we did against Sheffield Wednesday in the first 10-15 minutes. You're not going to sustain it for 90 minutes.
No.
So take the right times to take your breaks and your breathers, but then get back into it as and when needed.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real good game today. I've got a funny feeling that I'm quite confident, to be quite honest with you. I am quite confident.
I'd love for you to be right. I mean, there is a reason, of course, that Derby are down at the bottom of the table alongside Argyle. I think, just one away win all season for them as well. So, we're in similar company. But, of course, the benefit of that is that we are here at Home Park today. So it's a home game for Argyle.
And this, as we all know, used to be a fortress. And a lot of clubs don't like travelling here. Let's just hope Derby are one of those clubs. But you're right, the stats against both sides are very, very similar, you know, with percentage of possession. Top goal scorer for them is on 7, Az is on 8. They both had similar assists. So it's going to be an intriguing game. But as I said, I'm quietly confident today. And I won't come on at full time if I'm wrong.
Oh, no, please. Well, I don't want you to be wrong, but I do want you to come back at full time. I'm going to need you there. Let's have a little look then at the teams that have been chosen for this afternoon's game. We'll start with Argyle, as we always do. Your starting lineup looks like this. Hazard, Mumba, Houghton, Suj, Hardy, Wright, Bundu, Puhach, JB, Katic and Talavierov. And on the bench, Grimshaw, Ogbeta, Edwards, Obafemi, Boateng, Al-Haj, Roberts, Isaka and Palson. A couple of changes in there, of course. We know Adam Randall still out on the suspension, and then of course Matty Sorinola getting double yellow card earlier in the week means we won't see him either. And he's put a real shift in, you know, in kind of recent weeks, hasn't he, Matty?
He's been excellent. He's probably been one of our better players over the last, you know, couple of months, and we will miss him. But I would think that Mumba will play on the right side of the 5. So again, there's another player similar to Sorinola. He's got a little bit more pace. I like to see Ballymumba doing it in the final third. They're going to play the same system, so it's up to our 2 wing backs to make sure that we push them back and don't let them dictate to us. We must go and dictate to them. And as I say, I just think that with the way that we're going to play today, we must feed the strengths of our strikers, and that will come from 9 times out of 10. It will come from his wing backs and maybe the centre backs hitting the diagonals. If we can get them into the game early, as we did last week, I think we've got a real good chance.
I mean, it's key, isn't it? I know you said today's game may be about who defends the best, but somebody needs to break the deadlock and get ahead. You've got Ryan Hardy there, 4 goals in his last 4 starts. He's starting again this afternoon. You'd like to think that form may dictate what he's capable of putting today, and we see another goal from him.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously Ryan, you know, put in the right areas, he will score your goals, but you've got to put him in the areas to go and, you know, and finish it off. It's just, as I said, we've got to make sure we play to our strengths and don't let them dictate the play to us. And if we do that, I think that we can come out winners. Yeah,
I know when you came on the breakfast show earlier, you were doing your analysis with Aaron. You look back at the Portsmouth game, and I think that first goal, it was a real team goal. And that's the kind of thing that you're going to want to be seeing today is, you know, the system working.
Absolutely. Both goals were come from wide areas. So that's us, you know, feeding the ball into the right positions and getting our strikers chasing in behind. Ryan Hardy, for me, is one of the best in the division at doing it. People say, oh, well, he keeps getting caught offside, but he don't stop making the runs. Even the top players in the Premier Division, they get caught offside. Yeah. But there's the one time when it does go right for him and he ends up scoring a goal. And we've just got to persist in keep feeding them the ball.
And that's the thing, isn't it? He has to keep making these runs. You have to see the players wanting it. Like, you know, at this point of the season, everybody knows that this has got the potential to go in the way that nobody ever wants it to go. So Absolutely. You need to see the players working and looking like they want to make it work today.
Yeah, and on, you know, with the way we went about the game on midweek, you could see what they've been working on in training. There is no point in us going back to front because we've not got a focal point. We haven't got a Mickey Evans. Yeah. We haven't got a Tommy Tynan, you know, a prolific goal scorer. But Tommy, when he played, used to feed off of that big target man. Yeah. We haven't got it, so we have to go down channels or, as we were talking about earlier, to go and play through the thirds in their half of the pitch. Once we get into that half of the pitch, then go and play all your fancy football. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, it's Derby that are our opposition this afternoon. They've won their last 2 games, first wins for John Eustace time in charge, and this is the team that he has chosen for this afternoon. Zetterstrom, Wilson, Forsyth, Yates, Phillips, Thompson, Harness, Elder, Clark, Armstrong and Adams with the captain's armband, and on their bench, Vickers, Langas, Barkhazen, Houdmine, Jackson, Rooney, Nyambe, Hendrick and Agbawadkiezu. Yeah, like we said, I think they're doing 3-5-2 today. So when you look at what Derby are kind of bringing to Home Park. They are obviously going to have a formation. Adam Randall spoke on the breakfast show earlier about, the same thing for Argyle. They don't really want to have to bend to whatever the opposition are bringing. Like, there is a format in place here with Miron Muslic.
Yeah, a bit like us. Their formation and the way they play is geared up to supply the ball into the box from the wider areas, i.e. their 2 goals that they scored with Clark and I can't think of it.
We've got, Jerry Yates
Harness,
he
scored. They both come from crosses into the box, and the first one, as you said, was a ball into the box, but they allowed it to bounce, and he still got his head on it.
Yeah.
When you're defending your box, you have to make sure that you're locked into one of the opponents. You cannot afford a free header or a free strike on goal, and this is what Derby and Plymouth need to make sure, and that's why I think whoever defends their goal the best today will come out on top.
Yeah, one of the players Argyle are going to need to defend against is Jerry Yates. As I said, he is without a goal in 6 at the minute, but he did score here last season with Swansea and in the reverse fixture as well. I think we saw it on Argyle Breakfast this morning, the overhead, kick. And like you were saying when we watched that back, you can't be giving people the space to be able to pull off moves like that.
That's the one where you end up collecting stitches in your head. Someone going to put their head on where he's. But it was a fantastic goal. The one thing about the boy Yates is he never stands still. He's always on the move. So our defenders have to be aware of where he is, aware of where he's going, and match his run. And a bit like Ryan Hardy, I think they're very similar in the way they play, but I just think Ryan creates his own opportunities with his runs in behind, whereas Yates will be, he's a penalty box striker.
Yeah, they've, if you look at it, Jerry Yates has gone a month without scoring. He has got 2 in his last 2 against Argyle, but Ryan Hardy similarly was in a bit of a goal-scoring drought as well prior to, recent weeks. And I guess for Hardy, something seems to be clicking with the way the team's being managed at the moment.
Yeah, strikers go through the barren spells, don't they? And, Ryan seems to have come out of his, a little bit quicker than Yates. Let's just hope that he doesn't score, make it 1 in 7 or whatever it is in 7. But as I say, it's going to be an intriguing game, and let's just hope Ryan Hardy can get on the score sheet before Yates.
Yeah, I think we would.
Or twice before Yates.
I think we would all very much like to see that, that's for sure. Let's hear now from both head coaches. We'll start with Argyle. Miron Muslic is feeling better about things, understandably, following Wednesday's win over Portsmouth.
For you as well to see a response, you spoke about it after the Sheffield Wednesday game, that we had seen it in the past, but you needed to see it again. And certainly with the pressure, obviously, that is on every single match, how pleasing is that to see that sort of reaction under those circumstances as well?
Very much, because in the meantime, I'm 2 months here. I know that the lads, they have the character to bounce back. I remember the last time we spoke here in this beautiful office, we spoke about protecting them, shielding them from the pressure, and the pressure was on because we knew we simply have to perform over there. Portsmouth away is not easy. That's a derby, the hostile atmosphere. Just 3 days ago they managed also to beat Leeds, but we stepped up and we showed this character strength to facing this challenge, to deal with that kind of pressure, but finding a good balance, not to getting too extreme and too crazy, and that was just very much also needed, and we finally did it also.
Yeah, the pressure will be on again, won't it, tomorrow against Derby?
Yes, and that's okay, because nothing was easy the last couple of weeks. Nothing will be easy for sure in the next upcoming weeks, and that's okay. If we can find the right balance, if we can stick to this game plan being just hard to beat, but being effective and dangerous in transition. Hardy played a big part in this, and we missed him for the last couple of weeks. Then we are hard to play, we are hard to beat, and we have all the chances to get the next 3 points, because it's another 6 point at home, and we want to grab this opportunity. Portsmouth away gave us hope. A good performance Saturday will give us a chance, and I think we should grab this.
Yeah. Do we need to back it up? Do we need to win?
It's very simple. Yes, okay. We have to.
Miron Muslic is speaking there, and he's spoken, David, of course, about wanting Argyle to be hard to beat. It hasn't necessarily happened in exactly, the frequency that we necessarily would have liked so far this season, but he also spoke about, how he wants the players to remain focused for today's game, and I think that's really important, isn't it? Still locking in.
Yeah, I think also he's asking them to go and repeat what they did in midweek. It weren't the greatest performance, but it got to the stage where we were hard to beat.
Yeah.
So you just want to go out and repeat exactly what we did midweek and playing in the same way. We played in a way where you knew if we put the ball in the right areas, we were going to cause some trouble. We were going to cause their back for trouble. This is exactly the same. Put the ball in the right area and cause them problems.
Yeah, I know we said before we've seen them struggle against those sides that are down and around them, Cardiff, Hull, Luton. So you'd like to think having those experiences, maybe will be able to do something differently this time. What do you think that requires? Is it that fast start? Is it that pace that you spoke about, them having a good first 10 minutes?
Absolutely. We must get off to a fast start. If we don't get off to a fast start, all of a sudden it might be a catch-up. The one thing that does concern me today, believe it or not, is the Green Army.
Okay.
The only reason I say that is because when they're in full voice, you can see the players stand up.
Yeah.
When they're getting on at the players, you can see them start to slump. So if we go a goal down, just stay with the side. If you stay with the side, we've got a much better chance of coming back into the game than not.
Yeah.
And it was something that I thought about in the week, and I've seen it on numerous occasions. Soon as they start singing and getting behind the players, you can just see their chests all come out, and now all of a sudden they want to go and do what the crowd want them to do. So mentality is going to be a big thing today, Erin. They've got to go out with the right mentality and think, right, forget about where we are in the table. Let's go and say, this is our castle. You ain't coming in.
Yeah.
And go and set about them, and from the off.
Well, the Green Army is called the 12th man for a reason.
Absolutely.
And Adam Randall, we spoke to him earlier on, and I did ask him. I said, what is it like when you come out at Home Park in a really pressurised time like this? Of course, we know he personally isn't playing today, but he said, the players do listen. Like they channel the support that comes from the stands. And they use that to try and, help propel them if they've got to go and take a throw-in or if they've got to go and take a corner,
Yeah, absolutely,
and
for
you've
sure.
had that as well in your own experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've always been brilliant here, they sing at the top of their voices, but they also let you know when they feel that you're not doing it right, and I've had plenty of that, believe me. But at the end of the day, you go out there and you go and perform, one for yourself and two for your club and your teammates. If you can go out and come back in at full time and look in the mirror and say, I gave it my best, I gave it my best shot, then you can't argue with that. But it's when you just throw the towel in or down tools or no. That's a no. And that's not only with this lot here, that's with any club. But I'm just over the moon that Jordan Houghton's back in the side, because for me,
you said he'd be your top pick.
Yeah, he's the one that sets a tempo for us. He knows when to play one touch, two touch. He's got a physical presence. And when he comes back from his suspension, Adam,
Rans,
that releases him to go and do what he's good at. And I just think Jordan's the perfect sort of gelling point for him.
Well, watch this space. Hopefully today can be the start of good things to come for the rest of the season. John Eustace, as you will be aware, swapped the playoffs with Blackburn for a relegation fight with Derby, and he's got his first 2 wins as boss over the last 7 days. Here he is talking about the trip down to Devon.
Right, John, thanks for talking to us. I guess just want to start off on the results last night. It's getting very tight down at the bottom. I know Stoke and Plymouth getting positive results as well. Did you have much of an eye on it?
No, obviously I was watching the Plymouth game because obviously they're our next opponent, but the most important thing is we just worry about ourselves. It's, as I've said already, if you get too carried away with the other results, then it can affect you. The most important thing is that Derby County are very competitive in every game we play, and we're working very hard to make sure we are.
Argyle, what did you make of them? They seem to have a good performance last night.
Good championship team, and they're on a good run of late, so we know it's going to be a difficult game, but one we're really looking forward to.
How does that mentality switch work this weekend against Plymouth. This is a game that people will expect Derby County to go and get something from at home park, whereas Blackburn at home and Coventry City at home, they might be the underdogs. How does that differ when you approach a game like this?
I don't think it differs at all. I think we've won one game away from home all season, so we've got no divine right to go anywhere and win. You know, we'll just be very competitive and see where it takes us.
In terms of the nature of the situation, though, points are needed against an immediate rival in that position.
It's just important, whoever you play, doesn't matter if they're a rival or not. If any team's around you, you take each game as it comes. The next game is obviously Plymouth away, and we want to be competitive and see where it takes us.
And after Plymouth, you go into a bit of a breather, don't you? You've got about 2.5 weeks to almost use that as a mini pre-season. Is that what you'll look to utilise with the squad? Yeah, definitely. I think it's very evident there's a lot of hard work ahead, you know, and the next 2 weeks gives us that opportunity to work as hard as we can. We've also got to get the right balance where we've got to rest the group as well, who've you know, we've got a very small squad at the moment with all the injuries, so we've got to get them rested as well. So, you know, we'll get that balance right, and hopefully we can come back after the international break in a real good shape.
Well, John Eustace is an experienced, and he's a calm coach at this level, isn't he, David? I mean, but he has chosen to take on a real battle.
We mentioned it this morning, didn't we? And I asked Aaron, I said, why would you leave Blackburn to go to Derby in a relegation battle?
Fancies the
He's
challenge.
obviously got his reasons. I know he's a Derby boy, and he, you know, I think that was the last club that he played for. But he's gone there for a reason. It's to keep him in this division. Well, let us be the one to drive another nail to keep him down there.
I mean, they've got just one away win this season. We know how that feels, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, but we'll be wanting very much to make sure for them it stays at one away win all
Absolutely,
season.
100%. Again, I go back to it. It's all about the mentality. Forget about where we are in the table, where they are in the table. This is Plymouth Argyle versus Derby County. You don't often see that, you know. We haven't seen it for a few years. So let's go out and show them exactly what Plymouth's all about.
Yeah.
This stadium will erupt if we can get in front. That's the other thing as well. Like last Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday, we started the game like a house on fire and then just fell off the end of the cliff.
Yeah.
Like we said, you can't keep doing that for 90 minutes, but you've got to pick the right times to go and have your breather. Because if you condense the space, it makes it harder. If you enlarge the space, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
It's all about mentality and doing the right things at the right time.
Yeah, it is a 6-pointer today, isn't it, David?
Oh, absolutely. A 9-pointer, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, we're just here by the players' tunnel. You've got the away fans just there. We could just hear them chanting, like they are keen for it. But there's so many more of us here.
I was going to say, you won't be hearing them too much when the game starts.
And that's what we want. Like you said, you want that green army voice.
Make it a really intimidating place, as it always used to be and has been. Unfortunately, this season it's just fallen away, but they still make the noise. Yeah. But they've got to stay with the players.
And I tell you what, if we do it today, there will be noise. There will be noise. And that means, actually, we've not got long till kick-off now, so we had better get on with it. We're pretty much ready to go. Match passes are available if you haven't got them already. It's Charlie Price and Ryan Dixon doing the commentary for you this afternoon, and David and myself will be back at 9:30, hopefully with some Argyle goals to show you. We'll see you later on.